So, I have another question for you. Does anyone here know someone who is a really nice, a good person, yet they're a little different in some way? So, what is it that makes them different? And how different are they really? Is it a behavior, or the way they dress, or how they talk? One of the interesting things about humans is that it doesn't take much for us to seem different. Now, if I showed up with a head attached to my hand, hello, my name is Handy Andy. Now, if I showed up with a head attached to my hand, that would really be different. But I've never heard of that happening. Someone with their head growing out of their hand instead of out of their neck. Certainly we all have our variations, but by and large, we humans are far more similar than different. We all have to breathe, all have to eat, work and play, the need to sleep, sadness and joy are aspects of each of our lives. We're all able to live because we have hearts that beat, blood rather than vinegar flowing through our veins, and brains that keep it all working, for the most part anyway. And we all need love. All of us need love. In fact, I guess those who seem the most unlovable need love most of all. Love is quite literally at the heart of the human experience. When you consider how similar humans are overall, and you consider the centrality of love to the experience of being human, I find it rather extraordinary that such a big deal is sometimes made about whom we love when we're seeking a partner. That is, if a man partners with a man or a woman partners with another woman. The similarities those individuals in same-sex relationships share with other human beings constitute a much, much larger part of their humanity than the relatively small difference of sexual orientation. What needs to be lifted up about our relationships is not the gender similarity or difference, but the fact that two people have found in one another the capacity to share and grow their lives together and to bring more love into being in this glorious, often difficult creation. And just as individuals in same-sex relationships are more similar to than different from individuals in heterosexual relationships, the experiences of couples in same-sex relationships are more similar to than different from experiences of couples in heterosexual relationships. Which means the ways their relationships develop and the difficulties they encounter will be much the same. Therefore, if same-sex couples, along with their families they may bring into being, are going to thrive, then they need the same kinds of support, the same rights and benefits as those accorded heterosexual couples and their families. How hard is that to get? Consequently, as Carol said earlier, it's so important that Referendum 71 be passed, that it be approved, so Washington State's domestic partners will be accorded the same rights and benefits as heterosexual married couples. Such as something so obvious yet crucial that's in the bill, that's the right to use sick leave to care for a seriously ill partner. Now, similarly, on the national level, last month a bill called the Respect for Marriage Act of 2009 was introduced into Congress. When it becomes law, it will repeal the Federal Defense of Marriage Act, which was passed in 1996. That will mean, among other things, same-sex couples who are legally married in those states that allow it will receive the same federal rights and benefits as heterosexual married couples. Currently, even though same-sex couples' marriages have the same legal status as heterosexual couples' marriages within the states that sanction their marriages, the same-sex couples' marriages are not recognized by the federal government, so they are denied federal benefits that are granted heterosexual couples marriages because of the provisions of the Federal Defense of Marriage Act. So remember, Defense of Marriage Act and Respect for Marriage Act, yes. My wife Sally and I were married some years ago in New Hampshire. Next year, when New Hampshire's marriage equality law takes effect, good friends of ours, a lesbian couple, plan to marry. While their marriage license will be no different from ours, unlike ours, their marriage license will not be recognized by the federal government. The Respect for Marriage Act, when passed, will change that. The relationship of Sally's and my friends is different from ours only in its particulars, as is true of all of our relationships. But in terms of its overarching quality and meaning, it is no different. In both instances, two individuals who have come together to share life, to know love, and at our best to bring more love into being in this glorious and sometimes difficult creation. We who are on a quest for life's meaning truly need to look no further than our potential to manifest more love in our lives. We don't need to look any further than that. Again, how hard is it? The quest is about manifesting more love in the world. I believe that journey holds the potential of leading us back to the source from which we began when love erupted with a mighty roar. So it is whenever we stand with those who are oppressed, whenever we stand with those whose lives know injustice, whenever we stand for fairness for all humans, then we know we're journeying toward love. We know we're standing on the side of love. Let's sing.